Imagine being haunted by an unseen terror, a presence you can feel but not see. Picture this, an old creaky house, its timbers groaning under the weight of untold years. It's a home, a sanctuary, filled with the laughter and love of a family. But beneath its familiar facade, something else resides. This is the tale of that family, a story of unnerving encounters and inexplicable happenings. Imagine the sensation of objects shifting places when no one's around, the eerie sensation of unseen hands moving your belongings, a silent intruder in your own home. It's a mystery, a puzzle that defies the norms of reality. Now, add the whispers. Soft, hushed voices echoing through empty halls, a chorus of unseen specters. They are unintelligible, an enigma, but there's a chilling undercurrent, a sense of foreboding that sends shivers down your spine. The whispers are fleeting, always just out of reach, but their presence is undeniable. But it's not just the whispers and the moving objects, it's the cold. An unnatural, biting cold that sweeps through sealed rooms, a chill that sinks into your bones. It's a cold that shouldn't be there, a frosty breath from the unseen. And the family? Their joy turns to unease, their laughter to silence. Their sanctuary is no longer their own, infiltrated by an entity they cannot see or understand. They are living with an unseen terror, an invisible dweller in their house. Their fear grows, a creeping dread that fills their every waking moment. They feel watched, haunted, terrorized. These strange occurrences, the whispers, the moving objects, the chilling drafts, they're not just random happenings. They're signs, messages from the unseen. The family starts to understand. They aren't alone. Their house, their home is shared with something else, something unseen, something terrifying. And so, in the dead of night, when the world is silent and darkness reigns, a chilling realization dawns on them. In the silence of the night, they were never truly alone. What if a mere child's toy could harbor an insidious entity? Picture this. A charming porcelain doll dressed in a frilly lace dress gifted to an innocent child on her birthday. The doll, with its glassy eyes and painted smile, is the child's favorite plaything, never leaving her side. Yet, as days turn into weeks, the doll's presence begins to cast a shadow over the household. A sense of unease settles in, a chill that no amount of warmth can dispel. The child, once cheerful and full of life, starts to withdraw, spending hours talking in hushed whispers to her new companion. The parents dismiss it as an active imagination, but then, the inexplicable happens. Doors start to slam shut in the dead of night with no discernible source of wind. The family dog refuses to go near the doll, whimpering and backing away with its tail between its legs. The once vibrant home now feels thick with an unseen dread, a sense of being watched. Most disturbingly, the doll never seems to be in the same place twice. It's found in different rooms, on different floors, despite no one moving it. The child insists that her friend likes to wander, but the idea of an inanimate object moving on its own sends shivers down the spine. As the strange occurrences intensify, the parents decide to consult a local medium. The medium confirms their worst fears. The doll is inhabited by a malevolent entity, an entity that feeds off fear, that uses the doll as a vessel to interact with the living. Despite their terror, the family manages to rid themselves of the haunted doll, hoping to restore peace in their lives. Yet, one can't help but wonder, where did the doll end up? Who is its new unsuspecting owner? And what horrors are they unknowingly welcoming into their home? Innocence became a playground for the malevolent. The tale of the haunted doll serves as a chilling reminder that not all playthings are innocent, and that sometimes, the most terrifying horrors can be found in the most unexpected places. What if you saw a figure at your bedside only to realize it's not of this world? Imagine this, a seemingly ordinary man, living a seemingly ordinary life. But as dusk fell and the moon took its place in the night sky, his home transformed into a theater for the paranormal. The protagonist of our tale, let's call him John, began to notice something unsettling. In the stillness of his apartment, he started seeing a ghostly figure. A woman, ethereal and spectral. She wasn't there all the time, or at least, he couldn't see her all the time. But when he did, it was like the world around him quieted. The air itself held its breath. He would see her reflection in mirrors, a silent specter watching him with an intensity that chilled his blood. But it wasn't just the mirrors. Out of the corner of his eye, he'd catch a fleeting glimpse of her, a fleeting shadow, a fleeting figure, a fleeting presence, always there, always watching. The apparition was elusive, yet persistent, and then, the ghostly woman began to appear at the foot of his bed. John would wake up in the middle of the night, the eerie glow of the moonlight illuminating her figure. She was no longer a fleeting presence, but a constant, terrifying reality. Each encounter with her became more hostile, more intense. The terror didn't end with her apparitions. Objects flew off shelves, doors slammed shut, lights flickered. The apartment was alive with an energy that was not its own, an energy that was threatening and unforgiving. John was caught in a terrifying cycle. He was a prisoner in his own home, a place that was once his sanctuary had now become a battleground. The ghostly woman, this spectral figure, was a constant reminder of something he couldn't understand, something he couldn't fight. He tried to seek help, but who would believe him? Who could understand the terror of living with a ghostly apparition? He was a prisoner in his own home, haunted by an unknown past. What if the very ground beneath your feet held a dark, disturbing history? Imagine a family, brimming with joy and excitement as they move into their dream house. It's a picturesque white picket fence affair. Little did they know the land it was built upon held secrets, dark secrets that seeped into the soil, secrets that were about to turn their dream into an inescapable nightmare. As the days turned into weeks, the family began to feel a change in the air. The once welcoming house now felt cold, the silence heavy. At night, the walls seemed to whisper tales of agony, tales that were once buried deep within the land. The father, a skeptic at heart, dismissed these occurrences as mere figments of imagination. But soon, he too was plagued by disturbing visions. Visions of a past, tainted by pain and suffering, where tormented souls cried out in despair. The mother, a nurturer, could feel an oppressive force pressing down on her. It was as if the very air around her was thick with the echoes of a chilling past. She could hear the agonizing screams, the pleas for mercy, and the cries of terror that seemed to come from the land itself. Even the children, innocent and untouched by the harsh realities of the world, could sense the dread. Their laughter was replaced by silence, their playtime overshadowed by a fear they couldn't comprehend. Despite the escalating terror, the family tried to stay strong, to dismiss the fear creeping into their lives. But the land had a will of its own, a will forged by a history of horror, determined to make its presence felt, its story heard. And so, they were trapped, living a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. Their dream house was now a monument of terror, a constant reminder of the cursed land it stood on. They were living on hallowed ground, marked by a history of horror. What if the shadows around you came alive, whispering threats in your ear? Imagine the sheer terror of it. This is not a question drawn from a horror fiction novel, but a chilling reality for one woman who found herself ensnared by sinister shadows. Our narrative begins with the woman, a seemingly ordinary person leading a normal life, until one fateful day, the shadows around her started to behave unnaturally. They seemed to grow longer, more pronounced, and began to follow her around like a relentless predator. The woman found herself enveloped in a constant state of unease, the shadows casting an ominous cloud over her life. But the horror didn't end there. The shadows began whispering threats, their chilling voices echoing in her ears, their words so terrifying that they would make even the bravest souls shudder. They whispered of unspeakable horrors, of dark deeds, and of a fate so dreadful that it was beyond comprehension. They seemed to feed off her fear, growing stronger and more menacing with each passing day. As the days turned into weeks, the woman's sanity hung by a thread. She battled these unseen entities, but their relentless assault wore her down. She was trapped in her own home, a prisoner of the sinister shadows that refused to let her go. The once familiar surroundings now seemed alien and hostile, with every corner hiding a lurking shadow ready to pounce. The woman's struggle against these sinister shadows was a battle of light and darkness, of hope and despair. She was the battlefield, her spirit the prize. The shadows sought to extinguish the light within her, to claim her as one of their own. But the woman fought back, her determination as unyielding as the darkness that sought to consume her. In the battle between light and darkness, she was the battlefield. Her story serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying horrors are not the ones that lurk in the shadows, but the shadows themselves.